The light is gonna keep changing because I'm filming with natural light, so please bear with me. Sometimes it'll be darker, at times it'll be lighter. That's life. This is the beauty of our nature. So recently I've thought a lot about creating the kind of life that you want. I know it sounds all wacka wacka wacka, like who can create the life that they want, this is some kind of hoo-ha. I've felt for a long time that I haven't been able to create the kind of life that I want. Now, a lot of people will tell me that that's not the case, and I know that there are a lot of things in my life that I have because I've worked for them. I've made conscious choices that have led me to where I am today. This is for sure. But there are still a lot of things, maybe smaller things, that I feel keep me confined, that don't give me the kind of life that I want, or I should say, don't give me the kind of feelings that I want to feel every day. So one of these things is not spending so much time on my phone or on my laptop. This is a little bit tricky because a lot of my work happens on the laptop or on my phone. But there are also other things that I do on my laptop and on my phone that I could just drop. One of which is Netflix. That's probably one of the biggest time consumers for me. I like to have something in the background while I cook. Usually it's Friends because I know it so well that I don't need to see it. It's something that's keeping me company when I'm cooking on my own. This morning I woke up and I was on my phone for a little bit. Then I thought, oh, I'm just so frustrated. I don't want to be on my phone. I don't want to live like this. So I turned on my phone. It's like giving myself permission to live. As weird and stupid as it sounds. It's like when you remove an option, you have to figure out what you're going to do with whatever you do have. In the beginning, when I was cooking, preparing my food, I was really feeling like I just want to have something in the background. It's a freaking addiction. It is an addiction. Like I had this desire here in my heart, or maybe perhaps in my mind, that I just really want to be in that world. And this is what movies and TV shows have always been for me. It's an escape from my own life. While I think it's nice to see other perspectives and other ways of living, but when it goes into you living through a show or through a movie, you come back to this life and you'll never be satisfied because your life is not what you want it to be. So you always go back to that TV show, you always go back to a movie, so that you'll have that temporary relief from your own life. The truth is, whenever I leave movies and TV shows aside, I actually start to feel better. I actually start to build my life into something that I want it to be. And today, my phone and my laptop were both off limits. So all of a sudden, I was just really living. I was cooking, I did the dishes, and after that, I wanted to clean a little bit, so I vacuumed, I watered the plants. I even wiped some of the plants from dust because the leaves of the plants had some dust in it. And then I started to have this inner dialogue with myself about what I want in my life. This turned into an amazing experience for myself. I used to write a lot in my diary or my journal when I was younger. Like, I have so many journals in my parents' attic from when I was in elementary school. All the way up until high school, and even after that. I have so many diaries and journals because I used to write a lot, and I used to just vent and process my emotions through that. And as I've grown older, I've realized that I do a better processing when I speak. And sometimes you don't want your friends or those close to you to, so to speak, suffer from you just processing to them. So, sometimes it's just you don't want to use your friends as a way to just process things, because essentially it is just you speaking out loud. You don't need advice, you don't need anyone to say anything, you just want to get these things out to make sense for yourself. I don't know if you ever feel like this. Do you use writing, or do you speak, or how do you process your emotions? Do you make something? It would be interesting to find out, actually. So let me know, comments below. I also do that through writing, but mostly through speaking these days. So what I've done, for instance, how I arrived to the concept of my business was what I'm doing right now. I had my camera on a tripod and I was talking to the camera as if the camera was my audience. So the same thing happened today, except there was no camera involved. What I did was I just started speaking, and I was speaking to my mirror image. I like to speak, I like to talk to myself, and literally I'm talking to myself, looking at myself in the mirror. It makes me feel like somebody's there with me. I am there with myself, but oftentimes we don't realize that we already have company and it is us. So I spent some time talking to myself as if I was already living the kind of life that I want. And this is a trick that I learned, not a trick, a tool that I learned from one of these amazing ladies in my mastermind group. And that is so powerful. It's so powerful to just allow yourself to talk as if you were already living the kind of life that you want to live. And that way you can really explore what kind of feelings start to arise in you when you bring up certain things. Because sometimes we have an idea in our heads that we want our life to be a certain way, but then when the reality hits and that's actually our life, we realize, holy smokes, this is not what I want. But when you do this process of talking to yourself or writing to yourself or whatever it is to process things and to talk about yourself or talk about your life as if it was already happening, that is so powerful. You're really going to get a sense of, yes, this is what I want. And you're going to feel those feelings. And that's what I did. And it was so powerful. I was so moved to tears. Yes, that's right. I moved myself to tears. And after that, I wrote down the key things on my journal so that I have a memory of what are the most important things that I figured out today just by talking to myself. Honestly, you just need yourself and some time. And just start talking to yourself. I know all of you talk to yourself in one way or another, and sometimes it's not very nice. Sometimes you speak very nasty things to yourself. So just start talking to yourself as if you're already that person that you want to be. And no matter how stupid it sounds, no matter how ridiculous it sounds, or no matter how unbelievable it sounds. Actually, the more impossible it sounds, the better. I highly, highly, highly recommend that, because that's a very direct way of finding out what it is that you want. I just wanted to come in here and tell you that you can create the kind of life that you want, but first you have to figure out what it is that you want. And I find that sometimes that's the most difficult part, because once we know what we want, it's easier to go after it, right? When we have a clear idea of what it is that we want to achieve. Maybe all of these external things, they're already taken care of, you already have that, everything is taken care of. But what about you? How do you want to feel on a daily basis? How do you want your life to feel like? Only you know. So start having that dialogue with yourself and you'll get there. So I hope that this video was useful to you. If it was, please leave a comment, like it, subscribe to my channel. I would also love to know what you would like for me to talk about more. I wish you a beautiful day and I'll see you next time. Bye! So recently I've thought of it, and I know it sounds why is it so hard to speak? It's Sunday. So it's something that's keeping me company when I'm working on my own. What I'm working on? What's happening? Started preparing myself from breast. This sounds a little maybe a husband and a wife. Did I say and a wife? Well, maybe you have both, or maybe you have either, or my